Welcome to Family Real TV. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share. This is the story of Job from his childhood till his death. May God bless you for watching.
In the quiet land of Uz, a wide place with open fields, gentle hills, and long, dusty roads, lived a humble couple named Abiel and Keziah. These names are added for storytelling because the Bible does not tell us Job's parents' real names. Abiel was a hardworking man. He cared for sheep, goats, camels, and fields. People knew him as fair, honest, and peaceful. Keziah, his wife, was gentle and wise. She prayed often, sang songs of worship as she worked, and always welcomed people with kindness. One peaceful evening, under a sky filled with bright stars, Keziah gave birth to a baby boy. They named him Job, a name that reminded them to always turn their hearts toward God. From the moment Job was born, his parents prayed over him. "May this child grow to love God," Abiel would say. "May he walk in truth and kindness," Keziah added. As Job grew from a baby into a young boy, people noticed something special about him. He was calm, he was thoughtful, and he had a gentle heart. Every morning, Job followed his father to the fields. He learned how to feed the sheep, lead the goats, and protect the animals from harm. Abiel taught him, "Job, strength is good, but strength must be used with kindness." Job listened carefully. When young boys argued, Job tried to bring peace. When someone fell or needed help, Job was the first to offer a hand. If a widow or traveler passed by, he shared whatever he had, sometimes even the food meant for himself. At home, his mother taught him songs and stories about God. She showed him how to pray and thank the Lord for simple things: bread on the table, sunlight in the morning, and water from the well. Job loved to sit alone under the tall fig trees near their house. There he watched the birds, the moving clouds, and the grazing animals. He often whispered short prayers, asking God for wisdom and a good heart. As Job grew into adulthood, the blessings of God rested gently on his life. Everything he touched seemed to prosper, not because he was lucky, but because he walked closely with the Lord. Job lived in the land of Uz, a peaceful place known for rich soil, wide fields, and long stretches of grazing land. People traveled through Uz for trade, and many stopped to rest near Job's home, for they knew they would be treated with kindness. Job married a gentle and wise woman named Miriam. She is added for storytelling because the Bible does not tell us his wife's name. Together they built a warm and loving home, a home filled with laughter, prayer, and the lessons of God's ways. Job taught his children to speak the truth, to help the weak, and to honor the Lord with their whole hearts. God blessed Job with a large family, 7 sons and 3 daughters. Their home was always alive with joy. The sons often held feasts and the daughters joined them, filling the house with music, stories, and celebration. Job loved watching his children enjoy each other. But even with all the joy, Job never forgot to pray. Every morning before the sun rose, he offered sacrifices to God on behalf of his children. He would say, "Perhaps they have sinned in their hearts. I must pray for them." Job cared deeply about the spiritual life of his family. He wanted God's covering and blessing over every one of them. And God continued to increase Job's possessions. His flocks and herds grew beyond measure. Thousands of sheep covered the fields like moving clouds. Herds of camels marched across the land in long, patient lines. Oxen and donkeys filled the open pastures. Many servants helped manage the animals, the land, and the household. Job became known as the greatest man in the East, not just for his wealth, but for his character. People traveled from far places to seek his wisdom. Widows came to him for help. Strangers were welcomed at his table. The poor found clothing and food at his door. Job listened, cared, and helped without expecting anything in return. He used his blessings to bless others. Still, Job remained humble. He never boasted about his riches or his name. Instead, he said, "All that I have comes from the Lord. Without him, I am nothing." His life shone like a bright lamp in Uz, a lamp of righteousness, generosity, and honor. Job's faith was strong. His family was united. His wealth was great. Everything seemed perfect. But Job did not know that a test was coming. A test that would shake the foundations of his life and reveal the true depth of his faith. Job's life was full of peace, joy, and blessings. His children were healthy, his animals filled the land, and his name was respected everywhere. But high in the heavens, something was happening that Job could not see. One day, the angels came before God, and among them came Satan, the accuser. God asked him, "Have you noticed my servant Job? He is blameless, upright, and he fears God." Satan replied, "Of course he honors you. Look at how you have blessed him. Take away everything he has, and he will curse you." But God knew Job's heart. So he allowed Satan to test him, but not to harm his life. And so, the greatest trial of Job's life began. The first wave of trouble. One quiet day, as Job sat at home, a servant ran to him, breathless and shaken. "Master," he cried, "raiders attacked. They stole your oxen and donkeys. The servants were killed. Only I escaped to tell you." Before he even finished speaking, another servant rushed in. "Master, fire fell from the sky. It burned all your sheep and the men caring for them. I am the only one left." Job's heart tightened. But the news did not stop. A third servant came running. "Master, 3 bands of raiders attacked. They stole your camels and killed your servants. Only I survived." Before Job could catch his breath, a fourth servant arrived with the most painful news of all. "Master, your sons and daughters were feasting in their oldest brother's house. A mighty wind struck the home. The house collapsed, and your children are gone." Job's knees grew weak. His heart broke into pieces. In one single day, he lost almost everything: his wealth, his workers, and his 10 beloved children. Job's response, but Job did not curse God. Instead, he fell to the ground, lifted his tear-filled eyes, and said, "The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." Even in the deepest pain, Job chose to honor God. The second wave of suffering. But the test was not over. Satan came again and said, "Job is still loyal because he is healthy. Hurt his body and he will curse you." God allowed Job's body to be touched, but not his life. Soon after, painful boils covered Job from the soles of his feet to the top of his head. He sat in ashes, scratching his skin with broken pottery. His wife looked at him and cried, "Job, why hold on to your integrity? Curse God and die." But Job answered gently, "Shall we accept good from God and not accept trouble?" Still, Job did not sin against the Lord. Job's loneliness. Job's friends came to visit him, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar. When they saw his suffering, they did not speak for 7 days, for his pain was too great. Job felt alone, confused, and broken. He didn't understand why this was happening. He began to question, to cry, and to pour out his sorrow. But even in his confusion, Job never turned his heart away from God. Job's trials were deep, painful, and heavy. It seemed like everything had been taken: his wealth, his children, his health, and his joy. But the story of Job did not end in darkness. A beautiful change was coming, a restoration only God could bring. After many days of suffering, pain, and questioning, Job continued to pray and trust God. He spoke honestly about his sorrow, yet he never turned away from the Lord. Then one day a powerful voice spoke from a whirlwind. "Who is this that questions my wisdom?" God asked. "Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Tell me, if you know so much, who gives life to the oceans and the stars?" Job listened. He realized that God's ways are far beyond human understanding. He fell to his knees and said, "I have spoken of things I did not understand. I have heard of you with my ears, but now I see you with my heart. I repent in dust and ashes." Job's humility and faith touched the heart of God. Then God restored Job's life in ways more wonderful than before. His health returned, stronger than ever. His wealth multiplied. He had twice as many animals as before. He was blessed with 7 more sons and 3 more daughters. His children were beautiful and wise, bringing joy to the home. Job named his daughters Jemimah, Kezia, and Karen Happuch, and even in his new life he honored God through them. Job lived a long and full life. He continued to trust God, pray for others, and give generously. People came from far and near to hear his wisdom and see the faith that had endured great trials. He knew that true wealth was not in his animals, money, or children alone, but in a faithful heart that honors God, even in suffering. Job's story teaches us that faith in God does not mean a life without trouble. Suffering may come, but God's plan is always greater than ours. Humility, patience, and trust bring lasting reward. At the end of his life, Job was blessed even more than before, and he died old, full of days, and at peace with God. And so the story of Job reminds us, even in the darkest trials, God is faithful. Even when we don't understand, He is in control. And when we remain faithful, blessings and restoration come in ways we cannot imagine.
Thank you all for watching Family Real TV. Please subscribe for more videos like this.